So good afternoon, and today you join me and I'm in a beautiful location just outside Cork which is called Mullinhassig, and I'm making my way along these cascades that lead me right up to the very end, which has a beautiful waterfall which is known as Mullinhassig Waterfall. And what I want to do today is to try and get out, capture some of the colours that are now coming through for autumn, and I'm going to work my way along the river and get some different compositions and see how each of the photos will turn out. What I'm going to be trying as well today is to show how important the polarizer can be when shooting moving water, or any water for that fact, because what it'll do is it'll take away any glare from the water itself and give you a much deeper and more rich, vibrant colour to the scene that you're shooting. So I'm going to take a couple of quick test shots here, and then what I'll do is I'll show you on the camera the difference between the exposure without the polarizer and obviously then with using the polarizer.
At the moment I only have the polarizer on to show the differences in what it can make. So right now there is no polarizer effect. It's turned the way that it's not actually catching or blocking the light. But if you notice here is when I just turn the polarizer here slightly, you can see that the water is going to get darker in the lower part of the frame here, and it takes away the entire glare. And what it also does then at the same point is it changes the entire scene, gives more of a focus towards where the small waterfall is there, and also will make all of the colours a lot more vibrant. So it's a very interesting filter to use, and one, like I said a moment ago, that I would recommend to be used when you are shooting water of any shape or form, be it even flat water. It will help you to kind of pierce through and see through the water and see the rocks and so forth that are underneath, and gives that extra bit of depth to the image that you're shooting.
As I walk along here, I can see that there has been some pretty heavy rain, I imagine, or storms of some sort, because it's actually after knocking a lot of trees, and there's a lot of debris as well that is blocking the water as it comes through. So normally some shots that I would get here I can no longer get because there are trees, etc. Now blocking the flow of the water. So as I move up along here now and I'm nearing the waterfall, it does seem to be quite a nice blanket of colour from the autumn leaves, and we've got a nice mixture of some browns, some reds and some oranges from the different types of trees. And as you can see here, there's a nice scattering of them as well on the rock, so it's going to give me some nice colour in the foreground of my images. And I do think as well that what I'm going to try and do on this small cascade here is to really tune into the intimate details. So I'm going to look for a couple of rocks that have some leaves on them, which will give a nice contrast to the scene, and then just pretty much pick out some movement of the water as it runs over the rocks themselves. So it doesn't have to always be a wide open image. Sometimes the more intimate shot can deliver some lovely images. So I'll crack on here, I'll take a couple of more shots, and hopefully I'll be able to show you some of the ones that I would get right now. And then after that, the next stop will be the main waterfall itself in Mullinhassig. I've arrived at the waterfall now, and as you can see, it is flowing quite well. Must be after the amount of rain that we had overnight and this morning. But I'm going to get some nice shots here, because some of you may have noticed that I'm wearing some funny looking pants. These are in fact fishing waders, and they're what I normally wear if I'm doing my seascape photography, but they're equally as beneficial when you come to streams and rivers and so forth like this, because it allows me to be able to get into the scene, get in to take the shot, and not be restricted to be standing along the bank and so forth like that. And I think the best part of that as well is you can now pick out some different compositions that you wouldn't normally be able to get. You're going to be nice and dry. They're effectively good boots. There's a good grip as well on them. And as you can see, I have the camera here and I'm set up right next to the waterfall, theoretically speaking, and I can actually now get closer than I would have, otherwise I'd have to start zooming and so forth like that. So a top tip really would be, invest in a pair of these. They're actually quite good, and they'll allow you to be able to go into places, remain perfectly dry, and get some different shots. So I'm going to disconnect from the mic now. I'm going to step in, I'm going to take a couple of photos, and we'll see how those turn out. So finally I have settled back here on land, and I'm going to take a looking at your traditional shot of the waterfall. But what I'm aiming to do is to capture the foreground that we have here, and with the colour in the leaves, the textures in the rocks, and the movement then as well of the water coming down the waterfall. I've tried a couple of different compositions, both landscape and also portrait. Now the sun as well is starting to break through, so there's a gap in those clouds, and it is giving a very difficult time to expose above the waterfall, because I'm exposing obviously for down here because it's quite dark in comparison. So what I might try and do there is experiment later. I don't normally do it, but I'll give it a go on doing two different, or maybe three actually, exposures for the different light, and then hopefully I'll be able to figure out how to blend those in post-processing, so that it'll give me a balanced image from front right through to back, and there'll be nothing overexposed or blown or underexposed in the shadows. So thanks very much again as always for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it and you learned a couple of things along the way, not only about waders but about the polarizer. And as always, if you do like the content on this channel, please do hit the subscribe button. It does mean a lot, and I look forward now to getting back to base as always, to have a look at my images and see what I've produced from today.